Hey guys, I'm with David here just to have a look at the hardware of the MSS cabinets. So David, what do we have here, and if you can talk us through what the purpose of everything is and why we made the decisions we made, that'd be really cool.
Absolutely. This here, what you see is a complete kit. This is a wall mount cabinet, or you can raise it off the floor on another surface, whatever makes sense in your particular environment. The cabinet itself is completely contained, and we're just going to open up to show you what the insides of it are. On the inside of the cabinet, you'll see that there's 16 ports in this one, and can go up from there depending on if the needs are for more ports within the cabinet. Usually additional switches are elsewhere in an environment, but 16 ports here in either one or two switches depending on whether redundancy is more important or more ports is more important.
So the base setup would be an 8-port, but then if they need more, we just add, and there's just a marginal change in the price, adding whatever exchange for switch they need. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And for those that have power over Ethernet requirements, then we want to make sure that you can eliminate all PoE injectors. This is really important because the fewer points of physical failure you have, the better your uptime and long-term experience is. So if we can offer power over Ethernet from here to your incoming internet, power from here to your rocket, to your nano beams, to your nano stations, then it's better, more efficient.
It's simpler, safer, I guess, and you have a more consistent experience, right?
That's correct. And you now have central control of doing power cycling. You know, everyone knows that once in a while you got to power cycle that kind of equipment. So now you can do it from your lazy boy. Okay, sorry. Maybe the couch. And then you don't have to worry about making the trip to wherever this cabinet is. So that's on the top layer.
Okay.
The second layer has our Gateway 1 and Gateway 2. This is where all the heavy lifting is done. And Gateway 1 and Gateway 2 operate in a master and backup mode, where the master is the one that's currently running the duties of being a security appliance, but the backup node is always saying, hey, I'm here. In case you have any trouble, let me know and I'll take over the job. And that's what this yellow cable keeps a heartbeat on. They are aware of each other. Anytime you make a change, it automatically replicates the change, so it's always got the current configuration. ADAMnetworks dashboard is aware of both of them, but either one of them can run the job at any point in time. It's about a second or so that failover takes, so that means we can do middle of the day deep maintenance on one of the two gateways because the console cables go to each other. So you'll see that this console cable goes to here and this console cable goes to here.
So you could actually take, let's say you wanted to wipe this guy, while people are running mission critical operations, you could actually wipe this guy completely, rebuild it from scratch, while that one is still running, so that's full high availability between them?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Complete high availability between the two. And then we go down one more layer. We have managed Wi-Fi access point. This is important because you, the client, would have someone that's the technical role, the technical assistant that would be the hands and eyes on this equipment with our team remotely on a support call, FaceTime, or a remote meeting. And then you would just need a laptop or a Wi-Fi device to connect to a special management environment that we manage here for you in order to have access to any of the equipment in here, but without connecting any wires is usually the case.
Yeah, right.
And then finally, we have a battery that powers everything inside the cabinet. And the battery gives you about a 2-hour usage of all the equipment while you're without power. And this is really important for so many reasons. One, for connectivity. When you get this cabinet, you only need to get one standard 15 amp plug to plug that into, and all the equipment inside is running off of that battery.
Yeah, and then it obviously protects against like power surges and like if you get power dips or brownouts and stuff, that will cause the equipment to run better and more.
That's correct. In fact, manufacturers say the number one thing that you can do to make your equipment have less outage is to give it a consistent power. And so that's what we do with this. We also monitor this. So the USB port on the back of this actually connects here. That's this cable. And so Gateway 1 is always checking to see the health of the battery. And Gateway 1 checks in with us to tell us if there's a problem with the battery. And it also lets us know if you're suddenly running on battery. Otherwise, if you were running on battery without any notification, we wouldn't know that you're running on battery. So you want that notification, you want the internet to stay up even when there's a momentary power outage.
Yeah, one of the things that so many of you guys have told us was that what they enjoy about this setup is now they know if it's a power problem, if it's an ISP problem, or if it's an internal network problem, because before it actually gets properly done, it's such a mush of everything. Like how do you detangle the problem?
Right.
How do you know? And everyone gets to point a finger at another person, and the problem never gets solved, right?
That's exactly
right. Yeah. Okay, and David, what do we have? What do you have here?
Oh, of course, we also include 2 YubiKeys with each installation. It's really, really important that we don't just take into account physical security as we have, but all of our digital lives need to be secured, and that's why you'll see this is how we live our lives as well, right?
Sure, yeah.
Everything we do online that can be protected with the physical YubiKey, we do with the physical YubiKey. So that's what we include here.
Right.
And then there's also until we have a YubiKey controlled cabinet, we have to go old school,
Yeah, old school,
and use a legacy kind of locking system.
Yeah.
And it still works, right? Because you lock this cabinet, and then now you have a reasonable peace of mind that somebody isn't going to accidentally unplug a cable here and plug something in.
Or someone's not getting creative at 3 a.m, right? Trying to bypass, and then
That's right.
and then we get woken up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So and then the side panels, that one locks, and this one's off here for maintenance and setup, right? But that one's also so it locks, so it's completely. And then of course the back goes against the wall there. Okay, so what are the actual connections that needs to be made when the cabinet arrives on site?
Yes, so when the cabinet arrives on site, it's really a very, very easy connection that you need to make.
So it just gets mounted on the wall or wherever, right?
That's right. And then when it arrives, you're only going to have 3 connections. Connection number 1 will be this red cable that will be loose just like this, that you will connect to your internet service provider. So your internet service provider has what they call a demarcation point, and that is what you plug this into, or a customer premise equipment, a CPE device, or a modem, or fiber, or incoming radio if you're with a wireless service provider. That is what you connect to this red cable.
So
and
that's the raw
right.
internet.
Red is on purpose because anything with a red cable means it's raw, unfiltered internet. So it goes into gateway 1, into gateway 2, and then out of it comes the green filtered internet. And so this cable here, out the back, you're going to be connecting to your internal LAN.
Right.
So to your next downstream switch, or to a radio that broadcasts at elsewhere in your environment, that's what the green cable is.
Right. And so this configuration here, you could actually run full redundancy on the switches too, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So in this case, we have 2 switches so that we would distribute, for example, if you have really high ISP uptime requirement, but you don't have a perfectly reliable ISP, you would have gateway 1 going to switch 1, going to ISP 1,
okay. Yeah,
and ISP 2 going to switch 2, going to gateway 2, so that you've got complete redundancy. ISP can go down, switch can go down, gateway can go down. We, in our monitoring system, automatically know where the problem might be,
Right.
and that way we can offer maintenance without you actually experiencing significant downtime.
So there's a lot of flexibility. Even though this is like the baseline kit that you get in this, there is complete flexibility to modify this and tailor this exactly to what the client side needs.
That's right. And there's a third connection. That's it. There's only 3, right? You have the red cable to the internet, the green cable is going to go to your LAN,
Right.
and then finally you're going to connect the AC power to a standard 15 amp outlet,
Yeah.
wherever your electrician decided to make a 15 amp circuit available to you. And that's it. You have 3 connections that we're happy to guide you through with our remote hands kit or
Right.
over a remote session. And then you lock it up and you're good to go.
Thank you. That's awesome.